Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Lauri, as always, it's a pleasure to have you over here. Um, for those who aren't as familiar with Airline Reporting Corporation, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you do and how you play in the airline ecosystem.
My pleasure to do so. The Airlines Reporting Corporation has been around for a long time, started about 60 years ago, incorporated as a for-profit airline-owned company about 40 years ago. We're owned by the largest North American carriers, 7 carriers, and we do business with about 250 airlines around the world. Our primary job is to facilitate the distribution of airline content through the agency channel in the United States. That represents about 40% of the total air travel sold in the US is via the agency channel. It's about $100 billion in air sales a year, so it's a pretty important market and an important role that we take great pride in. In addition to managing the agency channel processes and the settlement and reporting of those ticket sales, we're in partnership with IATA and co-lead the world's largest airline data product called DDS.
Perfect. There's a lot of talk now about modern airline retailing. I'm sure in all of the sessions here, we've heard a lot about NDC and the promise of NDC. When I was managing ancillaries at United Airlines a few years ago, this felt like more a vision that we wanted to get to. But the conversation now feels very different, and it feels like it's really happening. So how is ARC pivoting in this new world? And can you talk us through some of the changes you're seeing?
Sure. NDC is absolutely real. You're right. We've been talking about it for a long time. ARC's role with NDC is to facilitate those direct NDC connections into the agency sales channel. We have almost 40 airlines that are now processing airline sales via NDC with our travel agency community. That's about 22% of the total volume at ARC is on NDC. So roughly 1 out of 5 tickets is now on an NDC connection. We're very excited about it. We've been working on it for years and years. So it is definitely real and growing. The majority of that NDC volume is with online travel agencies. The business travel market is lagging a bit, but we do a lot of work to facilitate the adoption of NDC by travel agents. IATA worked so hard for so many years to develop the standards for NDC, but when there's a ticket that's sold on NDC, some of the business processes that are involved post-sale and post-settlement needed to be seamless. They needed to become more some new best practices, and so we've done a lot of work to help the industry, at least in the US, begin to scale NDC operationally for agencies as well.
That's amazing. And I love the fact that data is starting to become more strategic in all of the discussions we're having, right? It's no longer just about reporting. It's no longer about just showing what's happened, but it's about using the data to make real-time decisions and using the data to improve the customer experience.
Yes.
How are you seeing this evolve, especially with NDC and the ability to serve up customers an omni-channel experience?
There's so much that's going on with data. I mentioned earlier, we are partners with IATA on the DDS program. That's Direct Data Solution. It is, as I said, the world's largest database of airline ticket sales information. It includes all the agency sales globally, both via IATA and via ARC, and also the direct sales by about 100 airlines as well are contributing into this data set. For example, a relatively recent update to that database is an NDC indicator. So now that airlines that subscribe to this data product can understand whether this particular transaction was on an NDC connection or a traditional EDIFACT transaction. There's just more and more demand for data for airlines to make better insights. We're working to enhance DDS and plan to offer a brand identifier in 2026. so that an analyst working with that DDS data can understand, this ticket is associated with the brand, which we all know brands have different attributes that will help the data analysts at airlines better understand what are they benchmarking against, how can they think about positioning their product set based on what, the marketplace is showing them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think about it as like, it was always an area that's more like a black box. And getting any sort of visibility to what's happening outside your own channel is so valuable. Just understanding what the customer is doing, when they're doing it, and how they would like to be serviced in that particular channel is, I feel, such a game changer.
Another data product that we launched a couple of years ago that also builds on that need for better benchmarking data is ARC Corporate Intelligence. It's a competitor to Prism, which has been around for a long time, and it offers airlines insight into the performance of their corporate contracts. And so there is that great demand for understanding your market position, performance among the market, and there's just more and more demand there. There's also a lot of desire for data to help airlines create better offers, more personalized offers, as that becomes more available to us with the promise of NDC. And our colleagues at ATPCO are really focused on that as well. But our DDS customers are using DDS data to help them in that area as well.
Yeah, no, I think about like, what a lot of my clients are also aspiring to do, which is like, how do we serve the similar experience across every channel? And like, how do we unlock this value when a customer is coming from, remove the friction, if you will, so that they don't have to make a booking in one channel and then come and add on products and other channels. So that's always a big unlock as far as the customer experience goes. There's also like, another big space that we're seeing changing is corporate booking, and we're seeing a lot more flexibility in corporate booking and a lot less, what I'd say like a traditional model of doing it. How are places like Traverse helping with that, or any other pieces of your pie?
So I don't want to miss the opportunity to talk about orders, because what you were just describing, the really crazy buying experience through the traditional setup of EDIFACT, where you might buy your ticket with your agent, but then to get the seat you want, you have to go to the app and you assemble this trip in not an ideal retailing way. That's really the promise of orders, and so it's offers and orders. With offers NDC, we've done, like I said, a lot of work in that space, and it's really maturing and growing rapidly, and we're very satisfied. We're also at ARC building an orders settlement engine that'll be available at the beginning of next year. We might be a little bit ahead of the industry. I think there's a lot of work underway at so many airlines in getting ready for orders. But we wanted to make sure that we were ready when some of the early adopter airlines will be. And that'll be orders settlement with cash and credit card by the end of 2026. So that's really important, because that is going to, over time, many, many years, I don't want to misstate the time frame here, it will provide a much stronger retailing experience for customers, with orders really helping to smooth out servicing, because the way things get purchased today, you can assemble this whole thing by buying in different ways, but if any changes happen, the whole thing kind of falls apart, right? And I'm sure you've got clients that are trying to solve for that. So we're excited to be heavily involved in preparing this industry for orders, and that goes for our data products as well. When there's not a ticket but an order, big data systems like DDS that are providing a lot of support to hundreds of airlines, we need to make sure those are ready for orders as well. But you mentioned corporate direct. We are firm believers in a future that's omni-channel, where a corporate traveler can work with their corporate agency to buy a ticket and then make changes themselves directly on the app, or they can buy on their app and with the preferred airline, get their negotiated rate, be in policy, and that then if they need help from their corporate agency, they can contact that agency who can interact with that record. So we made an investment a few years ago in a company called Traverse Technologies, and they have a number of airline clients. They've just signed a major hotel group, and what they do is to take a suppliers.com website or app, so airline.com, and enable a corporate travel program to be managed via that app. So as a traveler, when I sign in to airline.com, my frequent flyer number, they will validate that I'm still an employee of the company I work for, and when validated, real time, that I'm eligible to have access to the negotiated rates for that corporation. They'll understand the policy group that I'm in, and so then I can make my business travel booking directly with the supplier and be within the parameters of my corporate program. So they have enabled this for, like I said, a number of airlines who are primarily today focusing on sort of the small and lightly or unmanaged business travel. But the larger corporate accounts we think will be coming in the future. And we think that's good for everybody. It's going to create, certainly airlines like this because it allows them to have a direct relationship and really provide all of the content that they want to give to that business traveler right up front. And the corporations will benefit because they won't have travelers saying, I can get a better rate going direct, or they'll just have a really well-designed and managed program. Again, this is lots of change and change management, but we're very bullish on this in the future.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it also makes the customer experience so much more seamless, because if I'm used to airline X and I'm used to interacting with them in a particular way, it actually makes it easier when I can do my vacation travel or my corporate travel in a similar manner. I'm used to the booking experience, I'm used to the products, I'm used to what I can be served. So I actually think the change management might be faster than some of the other things where you have to go learn 5 different systems.
I don't think the change management challenge is with the traveler.
I agree.
I think it's with all the parties that are involved in the system, but it's so, if the customer wants it, people will eventually organize themselves around delivering what they need and want.
Absolutely. So what gets you most excited when you think 2-3 years ahead with the industry, with the place that ARC has in this?
It's just so exciting to see the things that we've been talking about for years really coming to fruition. So we feel so gratified with how NDC is really starting to take off in the US market, and our role in helping to enable that and continue to foster that and smooth out the hiccups and things that really get in the way of adoption. So that may seem sort of banal, but that's really exciting to me, to move from talk to action. Feel like the same with orders. I don't know that in my career I'm going to see large adoption of orders, but I hope to, over the next couple of years, begin to see those early adopter airlines and agencies beginning to figure out how is orders going to work and start to deliver on all the promises. And then there is so much opportunity with data, and we're thrilled to be right in the middle of all that. Just giving people the insights that they need to make better decisions. It's very satisfying. We're kind of behind the scenes, but we feel really good about the role we play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've obviously worked with you in some of these activities, and at ZS, we stand in the middle of strategy and technology. We've been able to fuse both of those. So I definitely think the dream for me, at least, would be to be able to go to whichever channel of choice, and nowadays it's LLMs, and be able to plan my trip, execute it through that particular channel, and have a one-stop shopping experience. So
you are the poster child.
Yes,
for what
I'm the poster child for adoption. And for facilitating the adoption. So very excited on both ends.
Yeah, we've appreciated your partnerships with ZS. It's been great for us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lauri, for your time, and really appreciate it. And thank you all for participating.